Pablo Picasso once said, "Action is the foundational key to all success." Throughout time, it seems that the one major obstacle that has consistently kept us women from finding success is our inability to take action when action is required. Goals do not achieve themselves. We must take action to manifest success.
We had an interesting debate where we're saying, so what does it mean to regroup, and what is this that we're regrouping? And so I think that's a question we need to be asking ourselves from time to time and regularly, so that we can allow ourselves to then define who we want to be and how we want to grow.
Why we as women have difficulty saying no. No to various aspects of our lives, whether it be to our partners, to our families, to our bosses, and really taking time for ourselves and taking that me time. That's been a topic that's become quite popular, I think for good reason, because we're starting to understand, even when we talk around mental health, etc., that we really do need to take time for ourselves. We can't just give. We will have nothing to give if we ourselves are empty.
Our circle was deep, isn't it? We talked about the intersection between seasons, glass balls, and rubber balls. See, we are deep, yeah? And the idea is, when you look at your wheel of life, your priorities, even if we may be of the same age, same background, same everything, my values and the seasons may be very different. What does your diary say about you? What story are you telling about yourself before you make a decision to take up another task? And is that decision based on fact or something that we pulled out of an article that I'd read called FUD, Fear, Uncertainty, and Doubt? So when you're making a choice, is it factual that this is important, or is it fear, uncertainty, and doubt that is pushing us to make those choices?
You know, when we think about ourselves as women and the various identities that sometimes we place on ourselves, but sometimes they are placed on us by external people. You know, if you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a colleague, and how do these identities balance, and where are you in that balance? Then we talked about transitions. There were a lot of people in the group who are transitioning from one job to another, from one geography to another, and some that feel like they're coasting. And how do you think about a transition in a way that works for you?
Everyone was at an inflection point. And what came out, which was quite important, the role of confidence. Because when we dug it into each of those inflection points, instead of confidence being an enabler, it was an inhibitor. And what do we do about that as women? What do we want to refocus on for 2020? We don't want to do 101 things, just 2 things, unpack them and land them.
If any one of you can give an example of a time when you really felt that if you did not reprioritize, then it's over.
My father was battling cancer, and we knew he had less than 6 months to live. I was also in divorce court. Fortunately, I work in an organization that is we're very tight-knit. You know, the Aspen Network of Development Entrepreneurs, and I told my boss, we need to talk about this. And I laid out the land for her. There was no holding back, and we drew a list of what I could handle and what I couldn't handle. That's why I'm still at that organization, and I will be for the foreseeable future.
The other day I watched The Devil Wears Prada for the second time. How many of you guys have watched that? Okay. Who remembers the line where they say, when your career is thriving, what happens at home? Your family life is at the bottom. Meaning your relationships at home are not the best, right? I like to give the example when we had gone on holiday with my family. My children were all of 4 years old. I have twin girls. So I thought, as being a perfect wife and a perfect employee, what I did is I said, my boss is coming in for one night. I told him, I will come for that one night. Okay, I'll come back to Nairobi. I told my husband, I will fly out very early in the morning. You guys won't even notice that I'm gone. I'll be away for 1 day and 1 night. What had I done? One, I demonstrated to my boss that it's okay, I'm at your beck and call. Whenever you need me, I'll be there, which men generally don't do for each other, okay, when it comes to their family time. Second thing, a very critical relationship, which is that between my husband and I broke a boundary. Because he's supposed to be the most important thing, and someone else can come in his place. And so, that whole experience, that turmoil that I went in my own marital relationship, taught me to then have the power to reprioritize. So I started learning with time that you have to be able to say no. You don't have to get along with the jokes that the other men in the office are saying. You don't have to do what the men are doing. You have to define what works for you.